And we are back with part 2 of our interview with the phenomenal Tedora Brown. Scott, girl. I know. Whew. You guys ain't watched part 1, go back and watch part 1. You know, I always suggest something cool to drink because woo, oh my gosh. I was sitting over here, I had goosebumps. So I'm like, oh Lord, okay. First of all, thank you for sharing your story with us because, you know, we all go through our healing process, and even though we may be on the other side of our healing, some things are still very sensitive to talk about. So I appreciate you for just being so transparent and woo, oh my gosh. So if you are a parent, mom, anyone that is going through any sort of loss, particularly a loss of a child, I want for you to go back and listen to what Tedora shared with us. Extremely powerful. And the fact that she's able to sit here and relive it and tell it with such strength is what I see. It's pretty incredible. So we go through this traumatic event, because that is traumatic. Where do you go from there business-wise? You continue to move forward with this daycare? Do you take any time for yourself? You're going through this divorce. Like, we done went through a divorce. It's a lot that's happened.
It's a lot. It was a lot. And it was a lot. I don't know how I did it, but I did it. I can say that I do. I always say I'm very thankful for my daughter because she was like a second mother to my children. And even though I didn't ask her, I let her live her life, but she's always been there. Like, if I needed her, like, I need you to, very, very thankful to her. And I didn't understand that until like maybe when I got 40 or 41. Like, I put a lot of pressure on her at her age. Not that I made her grow up fast, because she was a good girl, but I did throw a lot of responsibilities on her as a young girl with help from me, because I couldn't get it from the husbands. And it's so we don't even know that we're doing it. That's the thing. And then it gets to the point where, as though, you know how kids are entitled. I got to the point with her where, as though, this is what you're supposed to do. No, it's not. This is what I'm supposed to do. That's my kid. So I had to apologize so after I got through with my son, got the divorce, I was single and I was free. I was happy. I had never felt that way. I had never felt that way in a long time. I was able to go the way I would go when I wanted to go, just be free. I lived in my house, I was able to, it was a good experience that I had not experienced since I was 15, because I've always been in relationships. So that year, I just did me. I kept the daycare centers, but then I became a personal stylist.
Okay.
So I worked for Saks Fifth Avenue and Lord & Taylor. I started working for them on their pilot program, and I made good money with them too. And I was one of the top producers there, but it was just it was short term. So they canceled the program. I went back to the daycare thing, but I opened up my third daycare, which was Naperville Montessori Academy. Okay. So when I opened up Naperville Montessori Academy, I met my husband now, because I'm married now, y'all. Yeah, 6 years.
Third time's a charm.
Third time, yeah. So I met him. Because then I started doing reality TV, Chicago-wise or whatever, documentaries and things like that, doing radio. Remember, I was doing Inspiration 1390. So I did a lot of that. And now I'm putting myself out there, getting in the media a little bit. And then that's when I met my husband. And I didn't know I was going to marry the man, but he had his own stuff going on. So I'm like, okay, he got a Porsche, I got a Porsche. I got a Porsche truck, he got a BMW. I'm like, okay. He got his own. He lived downtown Chicago in a high rise. So I'm like, okay. And I had already told God that's what I had wanted. I said, if I ever move back to Chicago, because I'm suburban too. So I wound up moving from Chicago, the city, and moved into the outskirts for my children. So I always stayed in the burbs. I would go to the city and work and then go back home. And I always told God, like, I want roses. If I move back to Chicago, I want to live in a high rise. I want to be a doorman. And the man had all that. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm like, okay, let's see what this dude about or whatever. And he was a good dude. And I remember him saying, I want you to be my wife and saying all this stuff. I'm like, I'm not going to be your wife. I'll be your friend, you know. I'm not about to marry you, bro. I'm just not. No. No.
The fact that y'all have been married for 6 years, I think it's quite the story. Because, you know,
No. I am not about
kudos to him. He listened.
Yes. And you know, he wanted me to go on different dates and I would have him buy me clothes and stuff. Like, no, I'm not. No. I was doing a lot, but I was doing what was required, you know? So, he then said, well, I want to put you in your own high rise. So then I said, well, maybe I can marry him. Well, maybe, let me think about it a little bit.
What's funny to me, do you think it's because you had your own?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that is so funny because you know it's 1,001 relationship debates out here where women are looking for, you know, what do you call a high value man and a man that could do this, that, and the third. And here you are turning it down.
Turned it down. Didn't want it. Yeah. No.
But I think it's important to note that you didn't need it.
And that's the thing.
Yes.
I didn't need it. And then I understood too that he was a man that was in finance and he's out in these streets and, you know, women, you know, they're flying into him and I'm watching it, you know, I'm literally watching it. They just throwing themselves at him. He, you know, buying bottles and, you know, he doing what he do. That's what he being a man. So, and I didn't want to be bothered with that. And I remember him saying, I'm gonna cut everybody off. I just want you. And I said, okay. So met him. We were supposed to go out to dinner or something. Met him. He was late. I left. And he like, oh, I'll buy you a bag tomorrow. I said, I don't need a bag. I need my respect. And it's just that simple. I don't need a bag from you. I need you to respect me and respect my time. And it's just that simple. So 3 months later, we was married.
3 months? Girl. Now, how in the world?
Yes, you don't remember.
First,
I remember
you go from I don't need a bag. I'm not gonna be your wife. To 3 months, my friend.
3 months later, we were married, and what happened was, what the people say, what had happened was.
Help us.
Oh Lord. So okay. So I didn't tell you guys I was celibate.
Okay.
So now I got a man that I want to sleep with. You know, I want to deal with. So now, you know, because like I said, he was a charmer and he had his money and stuff, but I was playing hard to get, you know, doing what the women do. But I wanted to be involved now. I'm like, okay, now he's talking about high rises and stuff. Let me see what he's talking about here. Let me see. Just let me see, Lord. You know?
Yes.
And I think it helps him too because he decided to, I mean, like he literally just cut everything off, you know. And like any other man, he probably had to slowly, you know, stop dealing with different women, you know, for whatever reason. But he was sending flowers to my house every day. He was when I would come to his house, he would send a driver. I didn't have to drive. So he was doing everything that I had already said to the Lord that this is what I wanted. And I said, if you want me to marry you, then, because he's not coming to the burbs. So I was like, you're going to have to put me in, you know, a different high rise. And he was like, okay, I'm going to put you in this new construction one. And he did that. So now I'm like, well, I got to bring my son because I still had the little one. I think little Nate was 6 at the time because he's 14 now because he was about to be 7. So, because this will be our 7th year. So, and the 7th year, y'all remember I said about the 7, so y'all better cross fingers for him.
We have hope.
Oh Lord, as they say. So, but anyway, so yeah, so we went from there, and then I wasn't gonna bring my son to his house, and he wanted to move me from the burbs. So I politely said, you know what, I will marry you. And he said, okay. So we were engaged for like 3 months. No, 2 months, I'm sorry, because the third month we got married. We was engaged for like 2 months. And then his ex-wife started reaching out to me on Facebook, saying all this different stuff, saying if they were still married. And I told him, put your stuff on. We're going to go now to the courthouse. And if you're married, I am going to call the police on you. Because you lied. I'm going to call the police on you for you. Because he's like, what? Yeah, because you're a liar. And I'm going to see what I can do to sue you. I don't sleep with married men.
Oh my God.
I am so upset. And he was like, I'm not married. So we went down to the courthouse, found out he wasn't married, and we got the certificate that day. And then we got married in 30 days. And we've been married since
What
then.
a story. I didn't expect to get all this. But this, what in the world?
I'm very raw, y'all. Like, for real.
I love it, though.
I like, because people be thinking like, oh, she got this going on, all this. Y'all don't even know the half of the stuff that didn't happen in between time. Because guess what? I got a 5-year-old too. So I had a baby for him because he wanted a baby. I didn't want a baby.
How old were you when you had the baby?
40.
Oh, you're still young, girl.
Girl, I was 40. Don't I want no baby at 40? I've had that's my 5th C-section.
Don't say that. I want to have a baby.
Oh, you do? I don't know. I don't want to.
I'm 43.
I know. I thought you was like 40. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you want a baby?
One more.
Oh, okay.
One and done.
Okay. And I think that I didn't want to have a baby at 40 because I had 4 C-sections.
Now, I do understand that.
Yes,
I do understand that.
But I had told God that if I had got married again, and my husband wanted a baby, I would give him 1.
Okay.
So we got married in 18, and then I got pregnant in 19, and I had little Chris at the end of 19.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, in the midst of all this, because I feel like we've covered a lot.
Yeah,
There's been a lot.
Oh,
I'm like, we talking about reality TV.
Oh,
I'm like, why can't we have the cameras rolling on this? Like,
thank you. Like,
this
it's
is
real life.
Like, I would be tuned in every
Like,
week.
what's going on? Oh, what's she gonna do? Yeah.
Because it's reality, and I think, you watch a lot of this stuff on TV. I come out of the reality TV world, and there is so much that is fake and manufactured that I personally got frustrated because I'm like, there's so many incredible, crazy things that happen in our real life. Like, you could just let the camera roll, right? You don't have to do all the extra stuff that you do, but the main reason why we are here is at some point during all of that, you decided to begin this book writing process.
Correct. Yes, I wrote my book, and it's called The Power of Approval. Overcoming adversity to achieve greatness. That's my story.
I mean, first of all, from the gang banging all the way to being a 7-figure owner, and you're a multi.
Oh yeah. Now I am the only Black woman developer in the state of Illinois that's doing new construction build. I've been doing that now for 5 years now, since 2019.
Listen, you need to be teaching master classes, because I think the beautiful thing about your story, everyone hasn't known you as long as I have. And I remember us spending a little bit of time. Where were we at? The Ritz-Carlton?
Look, I was already. Look, I've been doing this for a long time.
Yes, we were at the Ritz-Carlton in Atlanta.
Yes.
And we were just talking then. And I'm like, for me, it's very rare to meet. Because what I do remember about you, what she's saying, how she was like, oh, I helped him start a business. But you've always been that way, because you were in a helping capacity then.
Exactly.
And we
I'm just helping.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what I recall. So my thing is, I think it's kind of like people say poetic justice or the law of sowing and reaping.
Yes.
I feel like you've sown so much, it only makes sense that you would reap so much. But your capacity to be able to help so many, I'm like, girl, you need to be teaching master classes, courses. Maybe we can work that out. Okay, me and Tedora can have a separate conversation. But I know you personally, so when we talk about a lot of these people that sell X, Y, and Z strategy online, but baby, they living in a 1-bedroom studio apartment, barely making ends meet. I'm telling you what I know. Like, she really is who she says she is. She really has it like that. And not necessarily talk about the things, but the heart of the person. And I'm telling you, since I've known her, she's always been a giver. If it wasn't money and time, resources, or she's there. Like she flew in that weekend to help. I'm not even kidding. So I think it's amazing that you have decided to infuse some of your story into this book. Walk me through it, because that's what I really, and I want you guys to go support her. Make sure you click the link, the QR code, whatever you see before you on this screen right now, and go support this Black woman. Help make her book a bestseller. Recommend it to your friends and family. But I really want to kind of peel back the layers a little bit. What was your first, I guess, kind of inclination that you were going to write this book?
I started it when my son passed. I just started writing, and just little inserts on different things. And as time grew, like even with the book just being published in 2023, I am my own publisher. And you can find it on Amazon, Google, Apple. You can find it anywhere that sell books, Barnes and Nobles. But what I did was I just took everything and just put it all together. And I didn't even know I had it in me. I didn't know. I just thought I was just doing something, just trying to, but as I looked at my own life, I'm like, my life can help somebody. And that's what made me just push it together. And it wasn't that, I seen other people, oh, she has a book. I've always been supportive. I support people. I don't care if you're selling a pen, I'm just gonna get a pen. I'm just gonna buy the pen just to support you. And we can support all these other stores. Why we can't support our own, Right. And so I just put everything together, put it inside the book, and I didn't know that it was going to actually be a 100-page book. I didn't know it. I just knew that I wanted people to know why I am who I am today. And it started from, like, I started off from when I was 14 years old, not listening to my parents, and just how things just triggered, even from family issues, from me and my sister not having a good relationship, to rebuilding, and, just everything for me with my daughter, with me not listening or getting an older man, and, at a young age, and, just so it's so much in the book that can help people, even young girls. They didn't want to give my daughter a loan, so I had to build her a house. Why I start building, why did I become a developer? I wanted a hotel because I had my own staffing company, and my husband said, I can't buy you a hotel, but I can buy you land. And when he bought me the land, I started going to school online, doing general construction classes, management, construction management. Then I went inside the classroom and started doing tuck pointing. Like, there are steps to this. It's not just given to us, And a lot of people think like, oh, I see her, and they see me, and they're like, oh, well, she got this, she got that. I'm supposed to have this. I worked for it. Nothing was given to me. Like, literally, the only thing that was given to me was wisdom and knowledge from our Heavenly Father. That's it. Yeah.
It's so funny. Okay, churchy folks, unchurchy folks, plug your ears in. But we talk about King Solomon, and that was the one thing he asked for. They said he could have asked for anything. And the one thing he asked for was wisdom. And I kid you not when I tell you, one of my personal inspirations is my mom. And people will ask me why. I said, from the day I could comprehend, she has always been the wisest woman that I knew. Like, just ridiculous wisdom. And I really think my mom, like, I tell people all the time, my mom could have been a nun. It is a blessing that me and my sisters are even alive, because she's really, like, she literally could have been a nun. Like, she is not interested in having no man. Don't even talk to her about it. Jesus is her boyfriend. Let her tell, okay? But she just always has so much wisdom. But when I tell you, I too was very hard-headed as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing with going through so many challenges and trials and tribulations, over time, you gain a lot of wisdom.
Listen, you have no choice.
You don't. I mean, you do, because there are some people that don't learn.
Yeah.
And God help those people. But I think because your foundation was there, I had a very good foundation.
Mm-hmm.
I think our parents give us a good or a bad garden.
There we go.
And I feel like as long as they do their best to give you the best garden that they know how,
We can use it.
you can always use it.
Yep.
So I think, regardless of what you go through,
Mm-hmm.
you're gaining that wisdom along the way. You don't need money if you have wisdom.
That's true. That's true. And I want to say too, I used to write on my mirror with not the Sharpie, but the dry erase markers.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to have to write to myself, Lord, please give me wisdom and knowledge. And I didn't even understand what I wanted, but I wanted my mind to be renewed.
Mm-hmm.
I did. And I always tell people that when I got divorced, I would ask God to give me a new everything, a new body. You hear me? So that my next husband, when he is intimate with me, it'll be like, this is my first time.
Mm.
Yeah, like literally. And it's, this is just something that I do, and that I've done. And neither one of my ex-husband wanted to get divorced. Because they, I'm not saying it just to be bragging, but a person knows when a person is good for them, good to help them, good in whatever capacity. And once that stops, it's like their whole life stops.
Baby, a good woman is always gonna be a good woman,
and it could be vice versa too, even with the men.
Absolutely,
and that's where I said I'm not bashing them. It's just that some people are not good husbands. Some people are great fathers. Some people great fathers and not good husbands.
Yes.
It's like, but then you have some people who are both, or have the potential to be both.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you.
Yeah, and they can be taught on how to. My husband, that's what we do now. I have taught him a lot of things when it comes to, he thought that when I had the baby that I was going to be at home. What they call it?
Oh, a stay-at-home mom?
Mm-hmm, yeah, I know. See, I don't even know what it is. Wait, I know what they call it. I was going to say a homemaker.
A homemaker.
Lord.
They call them those too.
Oh my God, I'm so
yes.
old school, but no, you're going to be involved with your child. No. So I'm not a stay-at-home mom. I'm not. No. I'm a woman that's about her business, and we're going to work and do this together.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's important. And I think a lot of women are burnt out being homemakers and stay at home. I did it for 10 years.
Ooh,
and
oh my God.
it was rough. And I did not know who I was outside of that. So when we got a divorce, I was like, who am I?
Yeah.
Like it took me a lot of years to figure out who I was. Now on the flip side, I do look forward to having another child, but it'll be in conjunction with who I am and doing what I do. Like I don't want to give up who I am
for a baby.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because they grow up.
They do.
They grow up. They get older.
Okay. And they leave.
And they do leave. I just married one off, so I'm like, yes, our oldest just got married.
Oh,
and
congratulations.
It was stressful. I'm so happy for her, but as a mom, it's like, man, have we really gotten to this point already? And we did. And it happens before you know it.
Yes.
In my mind, she's always gonna be my baby. But
and see, I'm a grandmother. My daughter has a baby.
Really?
She's 2. She's 2 years of age. My grandmother.
So is your youngest son older than your
She's
grandmother?
5. He's 5 and she's 2.
See, that's what, Lord, here, I've seen what you've done for others. That is really my only prayer, that I have a baby before I become a grandmother. And I'm like, I told my daughter, I'm like, can y'all please hold on for a minute?
Yeah.
Give me a little grace, please.
So that happened.
Yeah. Okay.
So my daughter has a baby. So I'm a grandmother. And it's so funny because my daughter was scared to tell me. She was 25 when she got pregnant. She had her 26. She was scared to tell me she was pregnant.
Why?
Girl, because she knows the relationship that we have and what I expected of her. So she would know. It's not that I just didn't believe she was prepared. But like you're never prepared, I guess, unless you have your husband. She wasn't married, But I love my grandbaby.
Oh.
And she's the first girl since her, because I've had all boys after.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So she's the new princess.
That's my little princess. Yes.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so this book started when we when we lose baby boy,
Mm-hmm.
you start, I kind of feel like I'm a writer too, so you kind of like jot down as things come to you. I have like a 1,000,001 Facebook notes. That's how I jot down. So we finally pull it all together. And how did you come up with the title?
I don't know. That's the
Seriously?
thing. So I believe in power.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna let me just keep it real. So I used to have a challenge with approval.
Okay.
And when I say approval, I mean like my mom and dad used to let my sister do stuff or get away with stuff, or I would get in trouble, and so her hair was longer than mine, my hair was shorter, it was just, so it was like, are they not approving of me? So I went through that stage in life, and all of it's not in my book because I don't want to get my mother upset. My dad not here, but I don't want to get my mom upset. But and I actually regret that because it wasn't about my mom, but I respect others.
Okay.
And I can say that because I know my sister's gonna be looking at this, but I can say that I didn't put that part in the book, but it was just, I was unsure, and that's another reason why I detoured to going out to being in the gang, to doing different things, because
being accepted.
Yeah, I don't like to use the word accepted,
but
it's
a sense of belonging.
But it's the truth. Yeah, like, do I supposed to be here? Like, am I really y'all kid? So I went through that, and I had to grow to understand that it was never that. It was just my mind. So that's how I came with the approval part. Like, you have the power to approve. That's how I came up with that.
Isn't that something?
It is.
About how our perspective, our perception really impacts us and how we engage and interact with people around us in our world. But yeah, as soon as you said that, like, it clicked.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to say this, but that is really the sole purpose of gangs. Is to create community and a sense of belonging.
That's what it is. It's an organization for someone who feels they don't belong somewhere else, for you to come with us because we're going to accept you. That's what it is.
So when did you finally accept yourself?
To be honest, probably not until I got married the second time. So after because I didn't want to get divorced from my first husband, because I was going to be the first one in the family to get divorced. Yes, so I was gonna be the first one to family, everybody with their husband, everybody got their man, it's gonna be me. So here go another thing about being, do I belong? So after I just said, I'm done, I'm not gonna do it. I'm choosing myself, and I chose. And after, I was gonna tell you guys this on the other episode, when I sat down with my ex-husband and I sat down with my 3 children, which was the first 3. I call them sets.
Okay.
The first set, my daughter said, you should have been done this. And she was 11. She was 11. Yeah.
When I tell you kids now.
Yes, she was 11. She sat there with us. It was 5. I was 5, and she sat in front of myself and my ex-husband, like, Ma, you should have been done this. Never would I. I'm like, I'm doing this for you. I'm standing in the relationship for y'all. And I didn't tell her that, but I'm standing myself, But she was like, Ma, you should have been done this. And I was like, okay, well, thank God, because it's over.
Say less.
Yeah, girl. Yeah.
I think as parents we try to shield our kids from a lot because we don't want them to experience certain things. And you think about all the things that society says. I don't want my kids to be a statistic. I don't want them to come from a broken home. Yeah. But I always tell people that kids are a lot more perceptive than we think.
Oh, yeah.
They can sense and see a lot more. They know us oftentimes as well as we know ourselves because they're getting a front row seat to us each and every day. But we also don't understand the impact of forcing something to stay together for the sake of them, that essentially could be hurting them in the long run. And I completely understand you on that. So we finish this book. I want you to tell the audience what you want them to get from the book. If you could give me like 3 or 4 major points that you want.
Well, the first thing, so in the book, as you read every chapter, there's a space for you to write down your thoughts and for you to even write down what you feel like what you got from that chapter. a lot of people were saying that, you know, they didn't want to put the book down. It's a really good book, not just because I wrote it, but because it's raw, you know, and it's real. And not only that, it is, you can connect with it. So even though you wouldn't believe that this one lady had been through this whole, but in between, you'll find yourself somewhere in the book. And that's the main thing. So I do want people to know that you do have the power to approve whatever, you know, from adversity, from any of it, you know. You can definitely, I'm guessing like that if I can do it, you can do it too. But you can make it. And understand the spirituality of things, because there's a devil and there's a God. And I know that some people don't believe in that. But there's a creator. How about that? And with that creator, you are following something. I don't care what it is, and I say this all the time, whether it's the devil, whether, you know, whatever it is, whatever you're following, that's, you know, see what you're going through in life and then understand that, is that where you want to be? If not, then change it up, you know. I'm not asking you to ask God for to get your mind renewed, but just renew your mind. You know, it's a game changer.
I love that. And I listen, my mom always says, you following something.
She do. See, I told you I asked for wisdom.
You following something, whether you want to or not. You are following something.
Yes.
You don't have to put a label on it. You don't have to identify it, but trust, you are following something.
Yes.
So I love that. And I think what is so extremely powerful about your story is that you have been through a lot. Yet, talk about not looking like what you've been through. I would have never guessed the have. And I'm talking about somebody that, you know, I know. Like, what? I had no idea.
No.
And I think too, we always need to be mindful of how we judge other people. How we assume just because a person has this, that, you know, you see Tedora is going to be labeled down. Do you hear me? Labeled down. However, it's easy to look at those things and think, oh, you know, she has it all together. Things may come easy to her. But it's like the, I'm churchy, y'all. It's just what it is. But, you know, it's like you don't know the cost of the oil.
That part.
You have no clue what it has taken people to achieve, to gain some measure or level of success. You don't know what sacrifices they have had to make, what losses they have had to experience, what obstacles they've had to overcome. And I think that's really the message in the story. Like, people can look at the outcome, and then when we go back and read the book, because everybody needs to go read the book,
that part.
I think people are going to be like, what?
Yeah.
Because A, how are you still standing?
That part.
How are you still in your right mind?
Yeah.
How are you still holding it together? You still have a smile on your face. You still were able to move forward, begin again. It's really kind of a resilient. A resiliency. I hate being grammatically wrong, but we'll fix that. But you know, I think something. Like having that resilience to just keep going. And obviously your faith is a factor. So for us, it's a factor. What advice would you give to someone who was where you were when you started and you didn't know nothing?
What I would definitely say, get a mentor. Because listen, I tried. I people don't want to help. People did not want to help. They did not want to help. But before you do anything, and it's something that I really didn't do, research. I didn't research when I first opened my daycare in my house. I just knew I needed to do something, and when God spoke to me, I just did it. But I had no help. When I tell you I had no help, I used equipment from my kids. They went to private school. Their private school, like their old stuff, like chairs sitting around. I didn't use nothing, like literally. I used what I had, And I don't know what the scripture is, because I know the scriptures, but I don't know where they're at. But to whom much is given, much is required. Mm-hmm. The little that I had, I took it like if it was everything, like it was new. I used it like it was new. Going back to it, like when you said, I love designer clothes, I love labels, but when I was able to wear, just regular jeans from, I don't know, the dollar store, $7 store. I don't know if you guys have that here, but One Price Clothing, $7 Rainbow, Discovery, all the cheap stores. I looked my best with those, you would have thought that I was coming from out of Neiman's. But now I wouldn't know that, a person would know, oh yeah, now I have a Neiman's card with 20 grand on it.
Right.
Now I can literally go and shop at these stores, because when I shopped at those smaller stores, I'll treat them like if it was a Neiman Marcus.
So you would say, just be before you become. That's what it sounds like.
I love it. Yes, I love to rephrase it. Just be before you become.
I love that. Well, we don't. I wish I could keep her, because I got a lot more questions. But don't worry, we're gonna circle back on this masterclass, because I feel like she needs to be doing that. We'll have a separate conversation, and then maybe we'll have an announcement down the road. But Tedora, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Sharing your story and being so transparent. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
This is the first time we have literally been in each other's space in 10 years.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, this is true.
Social media has been the connector in between times. So just a pleasure. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity and the honor to interview you.
I appreciate it.
But y'all, please go support her book. Make sure you go follow her. Let them know where they can follow you.
Oh, you can follow me at imtbrown.com, or what is it? I'm not a social media person, but I'm learning. Okay, at imtbrown on Instagram, Tedora Brown on Facebook. I have a TikTok now. It's T Mayana. That's my middle name, because my name actually means goddess of tomorrow. So Tedora means goddess, and then Mayana in Spanish is tomorrow. So my mama put that together. So she did do that.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
so that's where you find me at.
Go follow her. Make sure you buy the book.
Please buy the book.
If you'd like to, maybe something she said inspired you, reach out to her, let her know, DM her, let her know that you were inspired by something that she shared on today.
And if I can help somebody, I will. I promise. Whatever which way. I know there's a lot of people that want to open daycare centers. There's a lot of people that want to know how I do construction. Resources, like she said, I'll give out resources.
Let me put a disclaimer. If you come in the name of Winter Woman Land, don't be doing no fishy business with my sister friend.
Thank you.
Please keep it $150 and be serious about what you asking her about, because she is willing to give the information. So just be serious, y'all. Don't be out here trolling and doing no extra stuff. Y'all know what I mean. But I love y'all. Make sure you hit the like button, click subscribe, and share this with somebody that could use this inspirational story today, tomorrow, whenever, and then come back and watch it again. I love y'all. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.